First, I would like to welcome and give the floor to Claudia de Luca. Claudia, do I have you around?
Yep,
Wait.
yeah, yeah. Can you
Okay.
see me?
Yes, I see you. Yeah. Hello, Claudia. Thanks a lot. Claudia from the University of Bologna, an institution involved in many different projects. They are going to present some, yeah, some insights from a couple of them regarding community participation and cultural heritage. So please, Claudia, go
Can you
ahead.
see screen right?
Yes, we see it in full.
So thank you very much. Thanks, Patricia, very much for the invitation as well. I'll try to go pretty fast through some experiences we got from your project. I'm Claudia Luca. I'm working at the Department of Architecture. We are a research group mostly working in planning and regeneration, and we are active in quite some many projects regarding the topic. What I will be starting from, I mean, this is about sustainable tourism for rural regeneration, let's say. But first, my question will be, does sustainable tourism actually exist? I mean, we had also some comments regarding this in the plenary, regarding the over-tourism, the unsustainability of tourism, both in terms of climate, but also in terms of impact of the local community. I'm not sure if it does exist in the world where we live today, but if we manage to include local community in designing activities and experiences that are first attractive for citizens and residents, and then for tourists, if we involve the local community in preserving and caring for their own local heritage resources, if we understand before getting into over-tourism, for example, where and why potential conflicts may rise when tourists will come, so when we will be working on destination development, and if we ensure that the local community will be the first beneficiary of tourism activity, then maybe we can speak about sustainable tourism. And what we have been trying to do and what we are trying to do in several projects where we work on, I will be speaking today about mainly Ruritage, but I also want to get an insights about Ruractive. So these are two EU Innovation Action funded, the first fund by Horizon 2020, ended in September 2022. The second one funded by Horizon Europe, still ongoing until August 2027. We led and we lead them. I mean, we led Ruritage and we are now leading Ruractive. These are big projects, big consortium with many partners around. Ruritage basically aimed at demonstrating how cultural and natural heritage can emerge as a driver for sustainable development, and mostly how this can be recognized in rural areas as one of the places where actually most of the heritage stands, and why this should be one of the main driving factor there. It's very important that we did consider both in Ruritage and now in Ruractive cultural and natural heritage at the same place. So when we speak about nature-based tourism, to us, we still speak about heritage-based tourism. How did we do it in Ruritage? This is like the drawing that we always showed when we were speaking about the overall concept of the project. So we worked on 6 different axes that are pilgrimage, rural food migration, art and festival, resilience, and landscape. As you see, tourism was not one of the drivers considered itself. The driver were touching upon different things. Then, of course, tourism is actually a point in most of them. We can have tourism in pilgrimage, like, I don't know, we had the Camino de Santiago, for example, as one of our role models. Rural food and gastronomy are definitely one of the tourism driver. Migration can be as well in terms of integration of migrant into arts, for example, art and festival, huge driver. Resilience, we built up a museum of resilience, and as well, this can attract some cultural tourists. And landscape, of course, landscape conservation and preservation is probably the overall background on everything we did. Communities were at the core of everything we developed, and this is where I started from, the statement that I made at the beginning. Here you can see some picture of the various communities we worked with, and this was the process we followed. I mean, it's not, I'm not going like very in detail into this, of course, because there's no time, but you can find several publications about the Rural Heritage Hub what we did, what our case studies actually developed there, how many people were involved, and which were the space where they work. What I wanted to show is like what kind of tourism experience we developed, or actually what kind of tourism experience the local communities developed. The first one you see is coming from Turkey, and this is a co-creating design marketing for the Kozak Plateau. It was mainly done by Women Association together with the Izmir municipality. And they really worked together also with a designer to start working also over like the real marketing things that they wanted to use in that area. Magma Geopark, UNESCO was one of the partner of the project, and many global geoparks were actually our case studies. What we did in Magma UNESCO Geopark in Norway was to identify, I mean, actually was the population identifying 20 lighthouses that they were managed as well by the community. And this was like one of the promotional material that was developed by them as well. Negova Castle, Slovenia, they did an art exhibition, and the art exhibition was actually a picture from the whole community living the place. Elderly were the main target group of this, and this was presented by the community for the community, but as well very much enjoyed by tourists passing there. Arge Geopark, another UNESCO Global Geopark in between Slovenia and Austria. This was a very nice transborder case study. They developed walking maps and hiking tours, first for the schools, then for the families, and then for potential tourists to also get there. Last two examples from the case study in Italy, a Pignano del Tronto. They worked on many action, very successful case, I have to say. The first one that you see here on the left side is an hiking tour, basically, so nature-based tourism. But in each of the points that you see, there is a story with a QR code, and you can hear, listen, touch, and feel, I mean, depending on the different content that have been developed, stories told by the community itself. So stories told by the people. So, I mean, all the material that you can see in the hiking was actually produced by the community itself. And then they developed a festival, an annual rural art festival, so-called. And this is very nice because, as I mentioned before, the project ended 2 years ago. They are still running this. This became, I mean, a usual practice of the process. So also in terms now of sustainability of what we build in project, I think this is a very good practice. To go towards the end, I just wanted to mention very fast what we are doing now in Ruractive. Ruractive is it's not really a follow-up of Ruritage. They are pretty different in the way they've been developed and the call they responded to. We still work on 6 main drivers, but as you can see, they're pretty different. And now tourism, it is actually one of the driver that we work with, so nature-based and cultural tourism. Together with culture and cultural innovation, these are basically the legacy that we drive from Ruritage. But then we also work on mobility, energy, I mean, other drivers that are more for rural regeneration in general. We are now on month 18, so we are very much in the core of the activity. And the reason why I wanted to mention this, because there may be among you some local community, local action group, NGO, association, cultural, whatever, that may be interesting in joining us. We now have a call open, a call for expression of interest for additional dynamos. Dynamos are our case studies at the moment. So if you go in the Ruractive website in the news, you can express your interest to become an additional dynamo, meaning basically that you will have the possibility to be trained by us, to learn what we are doing, to come and join us in some meetings, and hopefully to develop your local action plan based on the drivers I just mentioned before. Sorry to rush. I hope I was not too long. And I'm really sorry I will have to leave in 15 minutes for an institutional issue, but I'm very pleased to receive email question or whatever you may need.
Thank you very much, Claudia. Yes, if there's any immediate question, reaction, we will share the information about this call for the dynamos that perhaps is indeed of the interest of some of you. Claudia, as I said, is staying for some more minutes if anybody would like to ask anything, but unfortunately we'll need to leave soon. But thank you very much for showing Ruritage, a project that is concluded, but that is clearly showing some legacy and how different cultural activities led by the rural communities are even become sustainable after some years. It is very nice to see how this happens. It's not always the case that things become sustainable after the end of funding. And well, it shows like the good job behind it. And then with Ruractive, although it's a different project that you said, it has some lessons learned from there. So we will be again sharing all the materials, contacts, and we will disseminate the Dynamo School. Okay, so no questions or reactions yet. So then I will give the floor to the second and last presentation for this group discussion before we shared a link to start then doing the collective intelligence. And now I would like to give a warm welcome to Ibrahim Abdou from United Nations Tourism that is going to present us some recent results for monitoring tools and also concrete examples on community participation and cultural heritage. Good morning, Ibrahim. You're already sharing your screen. Excellent. Thank you. Please, the floor is yours.
Good morning, Patricia. Thank you so much. And thank you to the entire team at Rural Pact for organizing this webinar. It's an extreme pleasure to be here with you all today, both to participate in these very insightful discussions and to learn more from all of these experiences across the European continent. My name is Ibrahim Abdou. I'm working with UN Tourism as a senior project specialist, working specifically on the Tourism for Rural Development program. And today I'm excited to share some preliminary insights and some key lessons we've learned from this initial monitoring and evaluation process of our Best Tourism Villages initiative. Now, before we dive deep into it, I just wanted to cover what is the Best Tourism Village initiative. It's led by UN Tourism. And the initiative mainly aims to spotlight villages around the world that leverage sustainable tourism as a catalyst for rural development and, of course, the well-being of local communities and residents. In doing so, the initiative really hopes to foster local pride and encourage active community participation. In this initial monitoring round, we collected data and insights from all the villages recognized in the inaugural edition of the initiative that was first launched in 2021. As shown on the slide, these villages totaling 43 span 5 different regions. And the purpose of this monitoring process is really to provide a comprehensive overview of each village's individual progress. And subsequent monitoring rounds are to be conducted every 2 years, mainly to track ongoing developments. Now, from the EU, we've received a total of 10 reports. It's important to note that all these reported actions by villages are really based on the village's own perceptions of impact and progress rather than any third-party or independent assessments. And overall, the villages provided positive feedback across a broad range of evaluation areas, with over 120 different actions reported in total. Now, when villages are applying for the BTV initiative, they are assessed across 9 different areas of evaluation, ensuring a comprehensive review again of each village's commitment towards sustainability and community well-being, and of course aligned with the UN Sustainable Development Agenda. Now, the monitoring framework uses the same structured approach, focusing on these 9 areas of evaluation and focusing on identifying actions for every area identified. And this might be key actions, but they also include key stakeholders involved and also perceived impacts. And this method helps us track progress more accurately, particularly in understanding kind of the rates of implementation or the rates of actions under each area of evaluation. Now, these are on your screen right now, the areas of evaluation, the 9 areas. They range from cultural and natural resources to economic sustainability, social sustainability, environmental sustainability, tourism development and value chain integration, governance and the prioritization of tourism, infrastructure and connectivity, and health and safety. Now, A village is considered to be implementing one of these areas when it reports actions back to us or progress in that area. Conversely, the absence of any reported actions or progress indicates that there might be no implementation or little implementation in this area. As we can see from the cohort of BTV villages in 2001, findings suggest that there are high rates of implementation in the areas of environmental sustainability, tourism development, and value chain integration, while lower rates of implementation for actions pertaining to social and economic sustainability. Now, most of these rates are quite high, so we can see that villages are actively engaging in these areas and trying to take positive action and enact change. However, these findings could indicate, of course, that social and economic sustainability actions can be far more complex, far more long-term, often requiring deeper community engagement, resource availability, as well as social and structural adjustments. Moving on, we can see that around 24 of the total villages that have reported back are implementing actions actually across all areas of evaluation. And now we can look more closely at some key examples. As I said previously, there have been 120 key actions reported. Actions have reflected very high levels of stakeholder engagement, which we love to see, both from the public and private sectors, including contributions from DMOs, local communities, as well as collaborations with research institutions. And I think now we can really look into specifically also some village actions that can highlight the importance of community engagement in the BTV initiative, strong governance models and destination management models, of course, with a focus on the preservation of cultural heritage and identity. Firstly, starting in Slovenia, in Solkava, where the village really demonstrates a deep commitment towards community-led cultural preservation. There we have the Frank Herle Cultural Association organizing a series of traditional cultural events designed to sustain local heritage, give visibility to local heritage, both for residents and visitors. A most recent project of theirs exemplifies this approach. It prioritizes the preservation of the Solkava dialect, or the local village dialect, through different workshops and discussions that are organized and designed in collaboration with local community members. Now, this collaborative effort actually has resulted in the dialect's official recognition as intangible cultural heritage at a national level by the Slovenian Ministry of Culture. Now, another interesting action was also reported in Cyprus, in Panolevkar. And to ensure really the tradition, the preservation, and transmission of this unique Lefkarito embroidery tradition, which is actually inscribed in UNESCO's list of intangible cultural heritage. Pilot classes were organized and funded by the Lefkara Handicraft Center. This initiative involved 63-hour lessons per group, specifically designed to safeguard this art form for current and future generations. Now, this also was quite a collaborative effort, both by local embroiders, the municipality in Lefkara, different cultural organizations locally. And this really underscores quite a unified commitment towards sustaining this vital element of local cultural heritage locally in Panolevkara. Now, moving now again to another notable example, actually from Slovenia, which really highlights the importance of inter-village knowledge exchange and knowledge transmission in Solkava also, where village representatives there initiated a cooperation protocol with another village in Serbia. They had bilateral visits, a 34-member delegation visit, which again, this cooperation protocol aimed to facilitate long-term mutual exchange of experiences, strengthen capacity building, as well as foster social cohesion. Now, and the final example for today, and I want to keep this brief, not too long, but in Moria, Spain, we see a lot of excellent examples of sustainable rural tourism and how that can be a catalyst towards development. And in Moria, they had a commitment to sustainable tourism by developing and implementing a strategic plan in 2021 for the development of sustainable tourism. And part of that plan focused on sustainability, of course, but becoming a smart tourism destination and really leveraging technology to enhance visitor experience, but enhance also, or ensure rather, the sustainability of natural and cultural resources in the area. Now, that was done especially through, again, enhancing the collection and analyzing of data. And I think previously also in the plenary, also colleagues had mentioned how data collection and monitoring is a key challenge for many rural destinations. And I think that is also mirrored from our experiences with BTV villages. But also, I think Moria is using this kind of approach to implement more eco-friendly practices and promote responsible tourism as a whole on a destination level, finding innovative and creative solutions to engage and interact with tourists, but also definitely engaging more with local communities and getting them more involved in tourism planning and decision making. Now, this approach to destination management was really overseen by the local tourism council, partly made up of the public and private sector, and aimed to design a tourism offering, again, that respects the local heritage and nature in the surrounding area, but also promoting balanced economic development. Now, collectively, all these actions in these different villages, I think, present or demonstrate that fostering local community participation, embracing innovation, and prioritizing sustainability are really key to safeguarding cultural identities in rural areas, but also advancing sustainable development. Now, all in all, it's been a genuine pleasure to join you all here today and share these key insights from our monitoring efforts. And I look forward to any of your questions and furthering our discussions during the day. And yes, thank you once again for your time and engagement. And thank you, Patrice.
Thank you to you, Ibrahim, for this quite detailed presentation of the monitoring efforts that you've mentioned with your tourism that allows you to keep track of and to highlight key actions taken forward, and for the examples of how different rural destinations are managing to bring in communities in and to do the destination management together with the communities where they are developed so that they really serve for the well-being.